I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everyone back. This public meeting is being recorded in accordance with Montana law. All those in attendance are advised that the public portions of the meeting will be recorded in audio-video format. By remaining the meeting, those present consent to being recorded and displayed the footage of which is posted on the school district website. Please contact the district office if you have any questions concerning the Hamilton School District's reporting obligations under Montana's open meeting law. All right. I don't think there's anything. One thing to change on the agenda. I don't old business. We missed it on this one, but we talked about pushing it to this meeting. So it'll be the action item on the 2022 audit. So we'll talk about that. Just the item of business. We probably we just pushed it. Okay. So that wasn't on here, but we'll get to it. Other than that, I think we're good on everything else. All right. Public comment on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay. All right. No special presentations, no student council, food service. It's not here yet. Tech. Mike, you ready?
Sure.
Go for it.
Nothing in the board packet this week, or this month, excuse me, but I do want to highlight a couple things. We've gone through all the labs. Those have all been updated to the best of our ability. Of course, that's a moving target. As soon as we update them, start moving away from being updated. Again, just a reminder to the board that we are going to start moving towards Windows 11. Not 100% excited about that, but it is another one of those realities that we're acknowledging. I will do everything I can to support the staff who want to maintain Windows 10 because they're more comfortable with that environment. There is an option Microsoft has extended licensing. It's a whopping $1 per device per year, so they haven't done anything prohibitive as far as pricing goes. But I believe all of our devices are good to go. We're finishing up some refreshes on Chromebooks in the daily building, make sure they're ready for the new year and the initiatives Ms. Dow has. I met with all the new staff today, got them going. I met personally with a couple of them today. 2 more on my list tomorrow, who knows how many more, but exciting group to get to know. So we're supporting them 100% here right out of the gate. And I did want to let you know that we have somewhat of an odd pattern going on with E-rate funding with USAC. Many things, as you well know, are a little bit different now in the federal government in Washington, D.C. And USAC appears to be one of those organizations that's been affected. We are now at August 11th. Typically, we get confirmation for Category 2, which is equipment, and the support we get from HIMCO. Typically, we get that approval sometime in June. And we still haven't gotten it. We have escalated that with USAC. Worst case scenario, maybe October, December, hopefully it would be like the worst in terms of timing. I've already visited with Pine Cove because the majority of our managed service agreement that we would need to provide funding for bears on them, and they're completely on board with supporting us. No qualms about any kind of wait period that we have to have with USAC. So I've spoken with Amber, and I'll be speaking with Kathy tomorrow about what we need to do with that. But I'm not really worried about it, but I just wanted the board to be aware it is a bit of a ripple. As you may be aware, there is some, I guess we'd say rumblings about perhaps sunsetting E-rate in the next couple of years. The current head of that department has made some insinuations that perhaps it's time to sunset broadband support for school districts and libraries and others. So that's something to put on your long-term horizon, but I was a little disappointed to see that that's even being discussed. So something that they've been planning for. So that's a long-term thing for us to consider. I think other than that, that's about all I have for today. Yes, sir.
What is E-rate and what is USAC?
USAC, I would have to Google the breakdown on it. It's the United Service something or other. I can look and send it to you. Essentially, E-rate, I believe this was done in the 1990s, early 1990s. Congress decided to fund the electronic needs, the digital needs for school districts and local community libraries. So they provide a funding resource for essentially 2 buckets. One of them is the actual cost of getting internet to your buildings. And the other piece is what they refer to as Category 2, which tends to be a rather limited list of pieces of equipment that we can buy and then some support we can get from, in our case, Pine Cove with the engineering of that. That tends to be the equipment that basically delivers the same internet. And for us as a district, we get funded at 70%. So they fund 70% of the cost, and we pick up the
So
additional.
E-rate is a program that funds us, USAC administers E-rate.
Bingo. Yeah, and so they make noise around the fact that they're considering the possibility of stopping that service, but that's, at this point, that's all we've said.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any questions? All right, finance.
So in your package, you've got the July warrants and the June reconciliation, and then just a note about what you've been doing over the summer, which it does not seem like it could possibly be timed that summer's over, but, the district office has been busy, and then just some informational items on the difference between a bond and a levy. For your information, so that's all I have.
Cool. Any questions for Kathy? All right. So we'll see those guys, so we'll go with legal human resources.
Okay, that's.
I know we jumped.
I've been working on the usual contracts, HR matters, hiring and resignations, a bunch of handbooks that are making your packets pretty big, helping out with those. And then we have our notices coming up. We've been doing a lot of work on the policies that are also in your packet. And then the whole admin team has been working on curriculum stuff over the last few days. So yeah, it's been busy to roll out to school.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, any questions? Keith, Mark, you here now?
Or it gets hot, you know, after.
Running around. So, perfect. All right, come cruise along. All right, principals, welcome back. I'm sure you guys are excited. You have no kids in the building, so it's like the calm before storm. So, all right, we'll start with Daly. Go ahead, Daly.
Okay.
Crush it.
August has just been like a whirlwind. I don't even really know where to start, but we have been scheduling and trying to get kids into classes and removing kids from classes. We've had in and out. We're pretty much even where we left off and where we're coming in. We do have 90 kindergartners, which last year at this time we had 80, so we're up 10. Now a whole 90 show up. I don't know, but we'll find out soon. I do want to say Tom Redmond in my building did a great job today of leading new teacher orientation, which I'm super grateful for. That's something that he really helps us with as an admin team and takes that off our plate so we can focus on the administrative work that happens this week. And yeah, it's about what's happening at Daily right now.
Fantastic. Okay, Washington, social services.
So yeah, I agree. This has been a whirlwind of a week and a half. It went by super fast. We should have, hopefully after tomorrow, 70 kids in total at Washington. We're still accepting applications. We can have up to 18 kids in each classroom. And so right now we're sitting at about, sorry, it's right in front of me and I feel like I can't read my own spreadsheet in front of me. 16 in each classroom. So we still have some spaces. And then otherwise, I met with one of our new special education teachers today. She's super excited. We got a ton of work done today. I'll meet with the other two tomorrow, and yeah, we're just continuing on.
Heidi's at the 4-year-olds that you're talking about?
Yes, yep, at Washington, yep, for the 70, yes, yep.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, middle school.
Okay, we are sitting at about 478, which is slightly up from the end of the year. And we had a couple of other new student tours today for potential new students. Lots of scheduling, very similar. Things are crazy. Our custodial staff and grounds crew and all of them are working madly to get things ready for school to start next Wednesday, since we start with all of our students the very first thing. Right out of the gate, new teacher orientation happening. We have 7 new teachers in the building, and we have 2 other teachers who have moved from their previous position to a different one. So it is going to be an enthusiastic learning year for all of us. So we are looking forward to getting it going.
So, all right. High school.
High school, we're sitting about 545 right now. We lost a pretty good class going on to seniors and a smaller class coming in, but we are gaining steam. We have 22 new registers and 9 kids that are out. And then we added our 10 foreign exchange students, so Numbers are holding pretty well at high school. I also want to mention Tom Redmond for leading our new teacher training, as well as Lindsay Jane will be doing our building stuff tomorrow. So that's, I appreciate the time those people put in. Counselors have been registering students Thursday and Friday and Monday and today. I think we got all of our schedules finally figured out. There was a panic this morning when IC went down and we couldn't do anything. So that does cause a little bit of a flurry, but after that, everything's gone really well. And then Wednesday will be our freshman academy, and our seniors will be there only on Wednesday. And we have a barbecue sponsored by the Hamilton Police Department. So looking forward to a great start and off to another year.
Sounds good. Perfect. Activities?
Yeah, it's been a very busy time. Yesterday with our big parent meeting, fall sports one, the pack was filled. A lot of kids coming out, a lot of excitement yesterday. Always fun to see them in the fall with all that, everyone's got hope and dreams, and so it's really cool to see everyone, and it's exciting.
It all ends on Wednesday, is that what happens?
For some, and everyone feels like you win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year, so it feels good, it's exciting. We had our big coaches meeting as well, so I sit down with all the coaches, go over all the rules, regulations, and everything like that, as well. The July was really busy with all of our rentals. Robert's run was fantastic again. And then just a kind of a note for you guys, on next Tuesday, we have the Sheep Creek Mine Proposal Public Comment Community Meeting in the PAC. So we anticipate that to be heavily attended, just to give you guys a heads up with all the rentals. And we've already got hundreds of rentals already signed up for this upcoming school year. We did shift rental programs, so working with that as well, and just very busy and excited to get going.
Fantastic. All right, any questions for across the board? No? All right, you're up.
Okay, so happy to hear that enrollments are ticking up a little bit. You can see in my report just a comparison of our general fund. In fiscal year 26, we had an A and B of 1802. Our funding this year is based on A and B of 1705. That's a pretty healthy reduction. We were able to manage that through retirement and attrition, but we've spent a significant amount of time, Kathy, Amber, and Jen and I, going through our budgets and line by line, item by item, really trying to create a proactive budget so that we have a good plan. I feel like we've made good progress, and I think, our plan is to meet monthly to look at the status of that, what our projection is, and obviously things can come up during a school year, but what our projections are and what is actually happening. So I feel like we're in a good position to respond to that, and I feel like we'll just get better and better at that over the next year or so. I also included, because this has changed with retirements and whatnot, since 90% of our budget is committed to our staff, there is a summary spreadsheet of where staff are assigned in the packet as well. Also gave you a little bit of a synopsis of the School Funding Interim Commission. This is a legislative committee, and it is chaired by Representative David Beatty. And they are tasked with evaluating the current school funding system in Montana, talking about the strengths and the weaknesses of that system. It has been widely accepted in the committee, whether or not there's a response to that inflation has really been an inhibitor of public schools. The projection that some independent analysis and the committee have done is saying that we are actually operating at roughly, this is an estimate, 2008 levels. So we have not kept up with inflationary increases, and so I think schools are feeling the stress of that. The legislature did address some funding issues with the STARS Act. And so that helps with teacher pay, and at least starting teacher pay, and we have used that additional STARS money to recognize the teaching experience of our staff. The other factor that is inhibiting our budget or puts a strain on our budget is special education funding is also being impacted by inflation as well. And so the committee is tasked with deciding whether or not things should change in terms of the funding model in Montana. I did, just so you are aware, on my own behalf and as an individual, I wrote a letter to the committee asking them to recognize a need for modernization of the school funding formula. The CAMPS proposal, which is our coalition of advocates for public education, so this is MTSBA, MQEC, SAM. There is a handout in your packet that looks like this, and this is a shift in how schools would be funded. So this would impact the Hamilton School District by estimated $2 to $3 million a year if their proposal were accepted. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. That is up to the legislature, and the committee later this week will make a recommendation to for the legislative group. So cautiously optimistic about that, but I won't be surprised. I don't know that there's a whole lot of money to go around. So we will see how that all happens, but that is my report at this point.
When will they vote on that?
But it'll be, I want to say Thursday is their actual meeting date. That they'll make a recommendation as to what should happen to the school funding formula. Then that would have to go through the legislative process and be supported by, it's going to require both parties to support that. And, yeah.
Is that a year-long process? Is that a 6-month process? Any idea?
The process for passing it?
Yes.
Oh, so during the session, they'll start beginning of January. I think they adjourn like the 1st of May or maybe sometime in April. It's 90 days. So they would have to make a decision within that 90 days. Yeah. Okay, that is it. Any other questions? Any other questions?
All right. Perfect. The new board committees, but then we have one tomorrow. Yeah, more coming. So, okay, consent agenda. So in your board packet, you'll see personnel reports, minutes of regular special board meetings, claims, warrants, and the pink sheet for our district students. Any notes you want to say on anything?
I don't think so. I think it's all pretty well spelled out there.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions? If not, I get a motion to approve the consent agenda. Moved. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, so we'll do the first one, the items old business to go in order. So this is, we'll talk about the 2022 audit first. So, we looked at it last month, but we postponed it so everybody can get it because we just got it right before the meeting. So, plus we have everybody here, so this is a good one. So, any notes or concerns on the 22? It's finally in front of you. So,
Thank you for waiting for me to read it.
sure.
It was painful. There's 80 pages in here and there's one necessary page to read.
Right.
It's impressive. It almost trains a person not to read.
Yes.
Which I don't think we should do that, but yeah, that's what it is.
So, any comments, Mike, or anything?
No, I mean, it's like you guys said, I mean, the one finding was that we're late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Which is a good thing.
It is a good
It's better than having all sorts of other things happen.
Correct.
So, all right. Any other comments, questions? All right.
Just whether or not I know we're not a low risk RFT yet, because I don't think we've done it for 3 years yet.
Risk expense, and since we're late, no.
It'll keep second up. Okay.
So we're still battling through it. And that's the next item.
We're talking about our bond status? or-
No, because we have expenditures
in excess of $750,000 in federal funds, you have to do a single audit, which is a test of the federal awards. And there's a finding in there that says you're a low-risk auditee or not, but you have to be single audited for 3 years, I think consecutively with no findings. And it can significantly reduce the cost of your, the audit as a whole, so, but.
But even with the amount that we receive in federal funding, we're going to have an audit.
Yeah, you still have to have an audit, but it's because you're a low-risk auditee, they don't have to do as many tests against what your financial statement shows, so that you can save some bucks, but we're kind of locked in at this point.
Okay, all right, so I need a motion to approve the 2022 audit.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right, next one is the 23-24 audit.
That is in progress, switching things up, it will be a 2-year audit, but there is another accountant that's doing the financial statement, so basically taking the trustee's report and turning it into the statements that you see in there, and then he'll audit that, so in theory, that's supposed to make it go quicker. But
2-year audit.
It is in progress.
Does that mean 23, 24, 24, 25 all at the same time?
This school year 23, 22, 23, and 23, 24, so those 2 school years.
So this one that's finished is the 21, 22.
Correct.
Yes.
At the end of this, it made it sound like might be anticipating getting those 2 years done by September.
He plans on being here in September, because he'll come in and pull test, items, he, pulls things, and so he plans on being here in September, so.
You're not sure.
It won't be done by September, if he's going to be here in September.
But he is on a more brisk track than what we were experiencing last year.
Encouraging.
Yeah, encouraging. So, all right, that's where we're at. So hopefully we'll see that one soon. And keep moving on because we still have ones to go. So, all right. First thing in new business. So in your packet, you have a list of all sorts of activities for the high school and the middle school. Keystone, Daily, Washington, all this kind of stuff. We've done this for a few years. So this is basically our list of activities, so we don't have to do these one by one. Any questions on anything that's on this list? We've been doing this for a while. Any new ones? I don't know if there's any new ones on this list.
There might be some COSA, maybe that's one I can think of that's relative.
COSA, yeah, makes sense. So, if not, can I get a motion to approve this list of activities?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any other comments, questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, the next one is request to approve the advanced opportunity grant to reduce the high school student AP and dual credit enrollment by 50% for 26-27. So we've been in this third year. So pretty easy. We just use those funds to offset some of the costs, which goes off pretty well. So any questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve this use of the advanced opportunity grant?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Perfect. Next one, the approval of the CSCT collaboration agreement with the WARE through June of 27.
This is an existing service for us, so this is a renewal. I will say that this is a home support services contract, so it's just a different healthcare model, which is at no cost to the district, so they bill for services within the district. But WARE is in Daly Elementary.
We really use this service well with a lot of our kids. It's a good mental health support that our kiddos need. I appreciate it.
Wendy, anything to add there?
No, just, it has been amazing to have them here. They can't expand into other schools. They like, if we want them to, we can even have 2 different companies in a building. But it's been so nice to have them.
Fantastic. So, cool. Can I get a motion to approve this CSCT agreement with Aware? Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, next one is, back with Missoula Children's Theater, so approval of an agreement with them to do the frog prints. So this is the third year we've done this one too?
Here,
Yeah.
the Jane S. Human Foundation is paying in for it, so we're super grateful for that. It makes it really affordable for our kids to get this really nice opportunity.
Yeah, very cool. So can I get a motion to approve this agreement? Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, approval for the rental agreement with Monroe College for the use of Westview for 26-27. So any,
This one's actually tabled.
Okay.
We were waiting for them to take it to the board of regents in September, and we should have it back from them at that time. We'll bring it back for you.
sounds good, all right. Never mind, we won't do that one just yet. So next one, resolution for us to, concerning necessary local supplies not reasonably available from other sources. Want to go through?
Yeah, so there's a resolution, a document in here that discloses, so Marissa owns Chapter 1, and that is a local provider of books that the district uses to purchase local books. So this is getting this out on the table and making it known to the trustees that we're aware that there is a conflict of interest, but we understand that this is the only real local source for books in our community.
Sounds good. All right, can I get a motion?
We should, Marissa, if you're wanting to abstain from the vote.
I would love to abstain.
I was getting to it.
I would like to note that my first name is spelled wrong.
Okay.
It's okay. It's gonna happen, it's fine.
So, can I get a motion to adopt the resolution for the board of trustees concerning necessary local supplies not reasonable available from other sources? Can I get a second? Second. So Marissa, you want to abstain, right?
I'm abstaining.
Abstaining, okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, there you go. All right,
Too many S's.
too many S's.
I want to give you the
That's right, we spelled our last name spelled wrong too. So, cool, so we got all these handbooks in line here, so we have the district-wide handbook, employee handbook, safety handbook, that's learning handbooks, all the safety handbooks, all the things, all those middle school, all of those. All right, highlights. This employee handbook, safety, cardiac one.
There's a lot in there too, so if in the event that you're reading through those later, those are questions that we can respond to you and answer for you, clarify for you. You may even catch a typo or a mistake. If you notice that, please point that out. Most of these are available online, so we can update it and keep it online, so, yeah. Anything to add, principles, handbooks?
Handbooks are really mostly date updates and just aligning it with our new policies, nothing substantive that would be of, impact. But if you guys have any.
Sounds good. All right, question? Yes.
Employees are signing up on these things, cardiac and general.
Yeah, the cardiac emergency response plan, I thought if we were just talking about student handbooks, cardiac emergency response plan is legally required by statute as of July 1st, so we do have that in place. We worked closely with our nurse to get this up to speed and also making sure that all of our automatic external defibrillators are mapped, and that'll all be translated over to emergency services here in Ravalli County. So Hamilton Police Department and Ravalli County Sheriff's Office will have those maps that are included in there. And we'll also know that all of the people are employees that are listed in the response team. So it's a good thing.
So we did run into this a little bit last year with travel and sports. What is the policy on who's supposed to have an AED at the game?
So that would be on the host.
The home team, correct? Are we supposed to travel with one at all? Is that a thing?
No, so our athletic trainer has a traveling AED, so when we're at home events like that or at the stadium, we do have one at the stadium as well. So our new trainer, Tanner Higgins, she will have one in her kit as well for it. And then we have one in the gym and at the middle school gym. So our facilities are all covered with them. When we go on the road, it's the host team's responsibility to do that.
Does the policy cover just going over that stuff with assistant coaches and people who are relatively new? Because, you know, the coaches in the gym and something happens, have they been made aware of
Yes.
where they are?
So part of the MHSA now, our policy, we have to have an EAP that all the coaches are given to. And that shows and maps out where the AEDs are. There's also now with the SCA for all the athletes as well that they have to sign off on. And so we have the coaches training that's incorporated as well.
And our nurse will be doing trainings and drills with our staff throughout the year, so that's.
And it's just good not to have to figure that out
Yeah.
in the
Don't wanna have to
emergency.
think
You
about
want to have thought about it at least once ahead of time.
And so now also, before every single game, there's a meeting, it's called a health meeting, where the officials, the two coaches, and the athletic trainer meet to go over it.
So, thank you.
Yeah, and that's varsity on varsity.
I also walk all the buildings to find out to make sure everything was where it was supposed to be. And for the most part, it's pretty intuitive. You know, and we have the signage as well that's required, so.
And every coach has to have CPR, first aid, AED training as well.
Yeah.
All right, any questions on things? It's just information for you, but yeah, if you have any questions or whatever, bring them up. We can work through whatever changes and stuff like that. So, sounds good. All right, next one, approval of the contract for consultant outreach services with Montana School for the Deaf and Blind. So,
Yeah, so in the event we have kids with disabilities that are deaf, blind, or they provide services for us. They provide consultation services for us and participate in trainings and provide equipment. Am I forgetting anything?
I don't think you're forgetting anything. No, it's just, it's a very unique skill set. And there's very few people in the state that do it. So it's just nice to have the contract with them. So that we're ready to go, because we inevitably always have a few kids that need to use the service.
sounds good. All right. Can I get a motion to approve this contract with the consultant outreach services for the Montana School for the Deaf and Blind? Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Okay, on the back side, approval for the out-of-state travel for Superintendent Tennis to attend the Superintendent Symposium to attract, hire, and retain, and reward the best people in Washington, DC, September 21st and 22nd, 26th. And it's being funded by AASA.
Yeah, so if this were not a reimbursable expense, I probably wouldn't go to this, but it is, and I'm interested to hear from other superintendents what's happening out there, and maybe pick up some ideas and some thoughts, and collaborate with a bunch of people I don't know. So I think it might be a good opportunity.
Can I get a motion to approve this out-of-state travel? So, can I get a second? Yeah. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Okay. Next one is a recommendation to approve the MOU with the Friends of School, Hamilton School Foundation to be the athletics facility sponsor for years to be determined.
So, yeah, I recommend that we approve the contract. Marissa and I discussed, and Marissa is the president of the Friends of Hamilton School Foundation. What was approved at their meeting, we were a little bit unclear on that, but nonetheless, there was approval for the contract. We wanted to I recommend getting the contract approved, and then we'll check on the details for the term.
So, 2 for 5. So.
Very excited to have them as an official sponsor. They do a lot of great things for our kids and continue to get their name out there. And I think it's a great partnership.
Is that on the scoreboard?
The big one, yeah.
Yeah, so, sounds good. All right, can I get a motion to approve this MOU with the Friends of Hamilton Schools? Can I get a second?
Is Marissa abstaining?
she will, yeah,
Yes, okay.
so,
We'll just know that.
yes.
Just
Ask it after. So can I get a second? Second, okay. We're starting to abstain. Okay, all right, abstain, all right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, perfect. All right, last one on this one, consideration of future levy.
Yeah, we started a discussion last month about the prospect of running a levy if we were going to do that at the November election. My recommendation to you, obviously you want to do whatever you want, but I would recommend that we not run a levy at this point in this November election. I think down the road, perhaps at a point where it is a presidential election, that maybe that is better timing. I think it would give us the opportunity to really do some more thorough planning and rethink some things about what we want to do and the communication and get ourselves organized a little bit more before we put ourselves out there at this point. So I'm just throwing that out there. That would be my recommendation, but ultimately it's up to you.
I think it's fine. I think one of the things I'd like to see is see what happens in the legislature for Montana, just see what goes with the funding thing, because it'd be silly to pass a levy and then completely change the entire formula. So I'd like to kind of see what that goes. If I remember correctly, during legislation, we can run levies. We get there's a different spacing for levy runs.
You
Because,
can run it in June instead of May.
yeah, so if it's looking pretty bad, we can think about something like that, but it's because you get a little bit of a change because of the legislative session, so, that's my feeling on it. We kind of want to see where that goes, because there's a big push to try to change some of the funding processes. I don't know, any other thoughts on that?
I agree with all of you.
I agree with not running the levy and wait to see what happens with possibility of funding.
The CAMPS proposal actually, so the 80% funding mechanism and then levies to try to get to 100%, that is one of the things that the CAMPS proposal eliminates, and they just fund schools at the 100% level so that there's not that, you don't have to go to taxpayers to get to that. You can go above and beyond that for some advanced opportunities, but that's a change in that proposal.
But that wouldn't come from the state or just automatically come from the district voters?
It would come from the state. Yeah. Yes.
I know, Mark.
It's a good thought.
But we'll see. There may be something that changes. I don't know. Rather, maybe not 80 to, but maybe it's 90%. No, I don't know. We'll see. But there has been a long push to try to change it, so I'm kind of curious to see what will happen. But
It's the Coalition of Advocates have done a nice job advocating for public schools, which we pay for their lobbying for this sort of thing. And it's ironic, they had an independent group from Florida that ran some analysis, and so did the coalition. And they essentially came to almost the same conclusion within a few $100s per student. So they both recognize that there is inadequate funding in Montana. So the committee has said that out loud.
And it was with different methodology, that was really interesting.
Yes,
I thought,
yeah.
Both groups took a different approach and perspective and factored in different things and came up with almost the exact same dollar amount of a, deficiency.
is that amount on the colored paper?
Don't believe so. That's in there.
First year.
So first student.
Yeah, I had a first year, now I have three.
Then there's others. They have some other stuff there.
Oh, that's the A&D number as well, yeah.
So, okay. So any other discussion on levies or anything like that? Or bonds or anything like that? If not, just keep moving on. All right. Charter school stuff, nothing has changed right now.
Nothing
All the same.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so board policies, so we have a bunch of first readings, and then we can adopt some, so, policy 333, holidays, we're just.
Would you like me to just run through them?
Run through, let's go through the first reading that we could adopt.
Yes, okay,
And we'll
so
do-
first reading, starting with 5233. This one relates to state holidays, required holidays, and the policy pack that we received had included MLK Day and President's Day as required, but that does not align with statute. So we're defaulting by recommendation from our outside counsel to take out President's Day and Martin Luther King Day. Just because it's removed from the policy doesn't mean we can't still have it on the calendar, and currently for 26, 27, those are vacation days. So that's just aligning with state statute. So you can just stop me if you have questions, or I'll just keep rolling. 5122 has to do with changes in statute related to employee background checks. This really doesn't change much with regard to our practice. It just does ensure that anyone with unsupervised contact with our students does have to submit to a full fingerprint background check for criminal records. This is exactly what we've been doing anyway. So it does change things a little bit with our outside contractors, because the law now, or the requirements now are that we're not able to do fingerprint background checks on anyone that's not our employee or like volunteer. So for example, Aware, you just approved that contract. We have people who are Aware employees coming into our buildings. Those people are people who we can no longer run our own fingerprint background checks on, but we've included in that contract, as well as Montana School for the Deaf and Blind, provisions that they will certify that they have completed those background checks. So we'll just continue updating our contracts as they come in with outside contractors to make sure that we're wrapping everyone into some accountability for criminal background checks. So that's also a good thing. 4315, administrator's authority to restrict access to campus. Again, this is another one that we've kind of always had, but this aligns it with statute to make sure that the board is still making the determination to bar an individual from all access to district property. So if our administrators want to recommend to remove someone from an event, they can do that. If they want to recommend based on behavior or, that kind of thing, sporting event, whatever it is. But if they want it to be like a permanent removal from all school property, that will come to the board and the board will approve that going forward. So also a good check and balance. It also provides due process to the person that is being excluded. Let's see, 3655 is the student side of our policy. Our handbook has these different series, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and so on. The one we just talked about for employee background check has to do with the employee side, so it's 5122. This is 3655, which relates to our protecting students by performing the criminal background checks. Really the same language, the same type of update. And again, just note that this will also mean that our outside contractors will be performing those criminal background checks essentially for us. And then in our contracts, we'll note that and make that a requirement. 3612, access to electronic information. This again is something that we've already done, we're already compliant, we just need to bring our policy up to date. It just states that we'll be using technology protection measures and monitoring online activity of students. So that's really just for student protection. 1401 is the last of the first readings that we can pass tonight. If you choose to do that, it has to do with public records request. This one's really boring. It just provides for a statutory fee structure that if we're going to charge someone for their public records request, we will stay within the limits of what the statute says we can charge. So again, that's really just a housekeeping one.
Sounds good. All right, any questions, concerns, any of the ones you want to pull out to look at for a second time? All right, if not, can I get a motion to approve these policies changes of 5333, 5122, 4315, 3655, 3612, and 1401? So moved. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, all right, now, first reading for these.
Sure, so policy 2410 relates to special education certificate of achievement. This is a new concept. Basically, it was determined by the federal government court system that Montana was not compliant with the IDEA, and that's the whole state, that's not just our school. In the past, we were able to
graduate special education students based on their completing their goals in their individual education plans. And that's no longer an option. So all of our students have to actually complete the requirements of graduation. So when you see in the handbooks and things, the requirements for math, for science, for English, our special education students also have to actually earn that credit, enough credits to graduate per the policy. So what has been offered now is that we can allow them to voluntarily choose to receive a certificate of achievement. And then the effect of that is not to remove the district's requirement to provide a free and appropriate public education for special education students until they're 22 years old. But it does allow the family to decide that their student has achieved their goals on their IEP and not return to school the following year. It also allows us as a district in the OPI universe to not have to count that student as a dropout. So it doesn't remove the requirement that we have to offer free and appropriate public education. If the special education student chooses to get their certificate and wants to come back till they're 22, they can still do that. But the effect is a positive for the district and for the student as well, for the family. If you have a 20-year-old student that just doesn't want to come to school anymore, they've achieved and they've completed the goals in their IEP, they can receive a certificate for that. It's not a diploma, but it is a certificate, and they don't count as a dropout. So it's kind of a measure to alleviate the burden on school districts for the 22-year baby rule. That one's a little bit, probably the most complicated one we have tonight. So 3231 is student searches. You might have seen in the news that Belgrade had a board meeting recently to revise their policy on student searches. The previous language that was included in anyone who uses the Colorado Law Office Policy Pack included the ability for administrators to do pat-down searches, which in today's day and age doesn't seem to be a really great idea to put administrators in that position to be patting down students. So we followed the MTSBA proposal, which was to exchange pat-down ability for requiring or asking a student to remove like an outer garment, such as a coat or a sweater, if they have something on underneath, obviously, to allow the administrator to search the garment, or to remove whatever's in their pockets for the administrator to search what's in the pockets. But the student would be voluntarily providing that. If there was a problem, practically speaking, obviously we could have an SRO available if there's a security issue or, an issue of danger that we're concerned about. But this seems to be the more reasonable approach, and other school districts are taking this step to kind of move away from the physical pat-down searches. You guys have any questions on that one? It doesn't change the standard reasonable suspicion. You can still search lockers, you can still do all that kind of thing. But I think it provides a little measure of security for the administrators themselves. Okay, that one.
Cool. Yeah.
And then we have rescissions, just through the whole switch over from our pre-2004 policies to the entirely new post-2004 policies. We ended up with 3 artifacts. I'm calling them artifacts from our old policy series that are still included in the website with our new policies. So essentially policy 5035, 5070, 5105 are old policies from our old policy series, and they have new policy upgrades, I'll call them, from the new policy packet. So we would like to rescind the old policies that are no longer in keeping with the integrity of the new policy pack, but it doesn't mean that we don't have those policies. We still do have them, they're just under different numbers. This is a housekeeping one, so.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So the number 2, we don't do anything because we'll see it next month. For this one, we have to actually do an action by number right to rescind them. So can I get a motion to do a rescission of the board policies 5035, 5070, and 5105? So moved. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. All right. All right, so now we're on to the final budget hearing. So I do have to say this, any taxpayer in the district may attend the meeting and be heard for or against any part of this budget. All right, we'll run through the budget.
So there is a packet of information at the end of the board packet that includes the resolution, setting the amounts in each of the funds and lists the number of mills that are required to generate those funds. You can see there is a summary page, and I don't know, Kathy, if you want to say anything about this, but the summary page shows you the different funds, shows you where we're at in terms of reserves, also shows you that the mills that are to our community is 45 lower than what it was a year ago. That's a result of increased taxable value in our community, along with a change in legislation that taxes the county rather than just the residents of the school district. So we'll see that that's a reduction. So really what the duty and responsibility of the board would be to approve a resolution that sets the amounts that are listed in those funds. Kathy, anything to add?
No, I think that's, like, we said the major difference in the general fund was due to the countywide portion that is being levied. And so next year it'll be a better comparison on the levies because there's that new funding source in the general fund. But I think in our policy, it talks about if our reserves get low, then something needs to be done. And I put out your general fund reserves are almost at the max, so it shows we're in a good financial position.
Last room.
I hate mills. Whoever came up with mills needs to be shot.
Our taxable value did go up quite a bit.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's all that was good. Okay.
And as far as setting those amounts and those funds, this was part of the work that Kathy and I had gone through this summer to make sure that we had any sorts of salaries and any sorts of contract fees and things set in those amounts to make sure that we are covered in those areas, and we're in a healthy position. But not overly healthy.
Not fat, just
Yeah.
healthy. That's better than when we have. And the year before, and the year before that. Well, we get less of- so then it's different.
Okay, questions or concerns? Looks good. Okay. If not, do you need more seconds, more time? Now can I get a motion to approve the budget and set the levies for the 26-27 school year?
So,
Can I get a second?
second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any other questions? All right, any questions from the public? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, all right. All right, thanks everyone. Welcome to another school year.